Let's finish up our back end by just making sure that it has some nice sharp edges and it looks the way we want. Right, so we've got the nice extrusions going in there, and let's go ahead and subdue this. And we noticed last time that there were some issues that we need to take care of, and let's go ahead and take a look at those now. The first issue I see is that, see how this edge is really getting thinned out and doesn't look like we want it to. And let's see what else. I think the bottom edges of our little, if we go into our back view here, looks like the bottom edge of this extrusion right here for the exhaust needs to be really sharp, so we need to take care of that. Looks like these bottom little deals could need to be a little bit sharper as well. And this edge right here could stand to be a little bit sharper, and also right in here. So let's go ahead and take care of some of those issues. The first issue, if we go back to polygon, you can see that it looks thicker right here, but we don't have much geometry there to hold that edge, so it's really losing some volume when you subdivide it. So the first thing we might want to do is go ahead and add an edge right on the back here, kind of tighten that up, and then we might even want to add another edge right inside here to tighten that up. Now if we take a look at that, now you can see now we have that more significant flattened kind of edge here that we want. Okay. Now we still might want to tighten up the edge right in here, and maybe also right in the back here. It's going to give those nice, more like machined kind of edges. Now for the part of this, it's good that we have this geometry inside here. We've kind of these two edges that we're able to use for to tweak that out. So let's go ahead. I'm just going to delete this side right here, which is an advantage of having symmetrical geometry. You can just work on one side at a time, as we found out. Now instead of grabbing these points and moving them down, which is going to cause me to change my curve a little bit, I think a little bit safer way would be to just go ahead and redraw those exactly where I want them. So I think they're okay. We don't want to be all the way down here on this side because it's going to sharpen this edge up. We can move them down a little bit, but the main thing we want is to have them down here to sharpen up this edge. So we can go in here, and let's say I want to move this down just a little bit maybe. So I'm going to just cut that off from right there and start moving that down. Maybe right here would be good. And then I can go ahead and grab these edges that I've cut off and just delete those. Okay. Now let's go ahead and check it and see how that is looking. Still not quite maybe as sharp as we want. So then we need to attack it from the other side basically, and I'm just going to grab these points right here and just move those over. So we have those hanging out down here. Might as well put them to use. And that's really going to sharpen that up for us. Now, one last thing that we want to sharpen up, I think, was these protrusions at the bottom. We might need to sharpen up just a little bit from the front. So let's take a look at that. We also wanted to sharpen up this right up here. So let's just do an experiment and see. Well, that comes down right in there. So let's see if we add one right along here. It goes right on that edge. And one more right there. And let's see how that's affecting us here. Well, we're getting a nice sharp edge there. Except now we're getting into this thing here because we don't have enough resolution. So it's kind of curving off right there. So we need to cut that off. One thing we can do is add an edge right in there. And an edge right in there. And let's check that out and see if that's looking a little bit better for us. And it is. It's got a nice sharper little edge there. And all of our scoops look okay. Let's take a look over here. I think for this guy, what I'm going to do is actually bring this up. Let's go to our back view here. We want the scoop, but we want it to be a little bit sharper. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this up just a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and extrude that detail down. Instead of moving our points down, we're going to go ahead and extrude that. So I'm going to grab those faces right along there. Okay, and then I'll just extrude that down. Just do extrude. Kind of try to keep that curvature going on. Scale that in a bit. And then we can do another extrude down just a little bit. And again, just scale down. This time I'm going to scale World X up just a little bit. So we kind of try to keep our curvature there. And then one more extrude. Actually, I'm not going to extrude that. I'm just going to go in and tweak these edges a little bit. So I'm going to grab all these edges right in here, the ones that we just extruded. I think we need to tweak out that shape just a little bit so that it's nice and smooth. So I've got those. So basically I'm just going to kind of pull those out just a little bit. Alright, and then I'll go ahead and add an edge down there. Let's see if that looks, how that looks. Let's delete our history, and I'm just going to, and now we can just go ahead and grab those points and tweak them away the way that we want. Okay, we want it to be a little bit straighter. And then we might want to actually grab these points. The idea is just we're trying to keep this shape the way that we want, as well as getting this nice little detail down there. So you can grab these points along the side, tweak those out a little bit. Okay, and it looks like our wheel well. We need to go in and tweak just a little bit to get that shape back. Whenever you add resolution there like that, it's going to be, you're going to have to change that shape. It's like we did when we were adding resolution along the side there. So we'll just tweak that out just a little bit. And you can continue, if you see this, if you don't like this little line there, you can just continue spacing these points out and pulling them out. If you want to grab all those points, yeah, let's grab all that whole side. Make sure you get all the ones you want, that is. Got some strays going on there, so just deselect those. And I'm just going to pull that out. Try to get that curve kind of back the way we want it. Deselect the top row. And let's deselect that bottom row too, so we just have the center, which I think is causing us a few problems. There we go, that's looking a little bit better. So just continue to tweak that out if you don't like that curve. Just continue to move, and you can move along normal, and you can move just to kind of smooth that out a little bit, okay? But now we've got that kind of sharp detail down there, and we've got these scoops in here. Let's go ahead and you can go ahead and at this point, when you got it all the way you want it, you can go ahead and mirror that, and then you'll have your whole back piece again. All right. Okay, so we've got our back going, looking pretty good. So let's go ahead and in the next lesson we'll move up and start working on the geometry for the hood of the car.